Since the dawn of time, man has looked to the stars and asked, what does it mean to be goon? I mean, good. Humanity's wrestled with this question for 1,000 years, but we've made a breakthrough. Port City Airsoft is proud to introduce the Goon Guy Kit. I mean, good! Good Guy Kit! Good Guy Kit! Good Guy Kit! So we released the Bad Guy Kits video a few months ago to some success. And we were sitting here thinking about what other videos in that same vein we could make to give to you guys. You seem to like that stuff. So we were just racking our brains and we realized we've been running these kits for probably about a month or so now, probably a little bit longer than that. And that's just what we need to do. We just need to make a video talking about this. It's the antithesis to the Bad Guy Kit. The Bad Guy Kits are just henchmen. You're running around just getting shot all day. You're definitely not the guy. What if you were the guy? What if you were the main character? This is the kit for you. We pulled a lot of inspiration from some of our favorite forms of media. We're Call of Duty guys, you know, it is what it is, but Black Ops 1 is probably my favorite Call of Duty of all time. The kits that we see Woods and Bowman running, especially in the Vietnam levels, are peak. Spectacular, wonderful Alice gear. And we thought, might as well do that, you know? I mean, we're watching all these like Black Hawk Down and Generation Kill. You know, we were soldiers and stuff like the Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket. Fantastic era pieces that are absolutely in line with what this kit aims to do. On top of all these wonderful movies that we've been watching, we've also been consuming a lot of YouTube content from Grand Thumb and Administrative Results and a lot of those guys, Dirty Civilians, another one, Barrel and Hatchet. They talk a lot about the sustainment rigs and all these chest rigs and stuff. People seem to be moving a little bit away from plate carriers, and we just took it that one step further and doubled down, built a full Alice rig. So that's what you're gonna see today. Without further ado, let's go outside and I'll introduce you to the Goon Kit. The Good Guy Kit. Dang. So we're out here in Mother Nature, great outdoors. We're going over the fit first, and then we'll add gear on top of that. Fit's the most important thing. Honestly, everything that you're gonna wear is gonna go over top of this. So having a good base, good foundation, solid place to start. We'll start with the boots. For the boots, we have just combat boots. These are not anything special, any type of, you know, era in particular. They're just combat boots, they're black. You could do brown, tan, whatever you got, green. Jungle boots are a good thing. The like Gore-Tex with the black leather on the toes and all that stuff is good option. We just got black, works good. Moving up from there, you can kind of change this up. However, multicam with this is probably not the way to go. You could do it, arguably. We did it at the Iron Fury op and it was fine. We had multicam pants, Woodland on the LBVs, and Tiger Stripe, Desert Tiger for the tops. So you can kind of mix and match these camo patterns, but we tend to go with Woodland if possible to match the aesthetic of the LBV and the Alice gear and everything. This would have been, they weren't running Woodland in Vietnam, but you know, Desert Storm era, all that stuff, they would have been running Woodland. So at least for training and then for some of the gear pieces on top. And then we got the shirt. The shirt is just a green shirt. You can kind of do whatever with this. Black, green, tan, whatever you've got. Anything will work. Solid colors if you can swing it. Or if you have a combat shirt, you can do that as well. We've got a few examples of combat shirts and different camo patterns and stuff. And then the belt is just a standard belt, something to keep your pants up. Isaac typically runs suspenders. And this is a pro strat that they don't tell you about, is suspenders to keep your pants up. Because when you've got kit on, especially like the belt and everything, it's gonna pull your pants down a little bit and you kind of squat some, and yeah, and then your pants are around your ankles. What are you supposed to do about that when you're in a firefight? So Isaac is a gentleman who tends to baseball slide a lot. Those knees get tore up. So Isaac runs knee pads. He's just got some nice green knee pads. They're pretty big, honestly. I don't really ever see knee pads this big. I don't know where you got these from. They work really well. Sometimes they become shin guards, and that's okay. They come in really handy for, you know, if you gotta hit a crouch, like a little, you know, tactical stance. Just a nice green. Doesn't have to be green, honestly, it can be any color. But I also don't run knee pads. I just kind of let my knees suffer. Moving up from the knee pads, we have the holster. Isaac runs a drop leg holster, and this is something that you would have seen in that era, the GWAT kind of Desert Storm era. Drop legs were a big thing. In an effort to not have to like contort your upper body to draw your pistol, puts it a little bit lower. Isaac loves the drop leg holsters. And I think every holster that you run for the most part in Airsoft is drop leg. So this one in particular, maybe not. This is a holster for the M&P Shield replica specifically, and that is what Isaac runs. So he runs the drop leg for that.
I gotta clean this.
Yeah, that's gross, man. It's I can smell it from here. It's stinky. Yeah, just throw that in the dirt, dude. So moving up from the holster, we have the gloves. Gloves are important. I get shot in the hands all the time, and that sucks, especially when it's cold outside. You know, there's arguments to be made about fingerless versus finger gloves. Isaac's got the knuckles on these, which I think is good, but then has fingerless so that he can be more articulate with the stuff that he's got to do. I find with this setup, and we'll get into more of this later, our magazines are set up in a way we've got makeshift mag pulls on them, and having fingerless gloves does make it easier when you're reaching into that pouch to just grab a magazine. So we'll show that later. Fingerless gloves, you could even go a little bit more era appropriate with the gloves and get something that's closer to like mechanics or something like that, or something that they would have wore in Desert Storm, which in all honesty, a lot of the movies and stuff that we've watched, there's not a lot of gloves being worn. Black Hawk Down, I don't remember anyone really wearing gloves. Maybe some of the Delta guys. A lot of the media that I see from that era, nobody's wearing gloves. And then moving up from there, go ahead and throw that bad boy on. Getting into the meat and the bones of this, what you all came here to see. We have built this abomination, this affront to God, and honestly, it's probably the best thing we've ever done. We ran these at Iron Fury, and this was probably the strongest parts of our kits that whole weekend. Almost everything else, minus my blaster, failed me at some point. This never did. We have pieced two different things together here. We've got the Alice belt, which is all of the mag pouches and everything that you see here, the butt pouch and the canteen and everything. That is all on an Alice belt. Alice belts typically are worn as a harness, so there's straps that go on it that's not necessarily mag pouches and stuff. You may be able to put other stuff on there, but typically it's not that. This top section is an LBV. This is a load-bearing vest, and basically it is 2 additional grenade pouches, and it is 2 double stacked M4 mag pouches and 2 single stacked M4 mag pouches. All in all, you've got 4 triple stack mag pouches on the belt. You've got 6 mags in the LBV, and then Isaac runs a few extra mags in his butt pouch. I think in total you've got around 22 M4 magazines on him. Like right now you're looking at roughly 22 magazines on this dude. It is intuitive, it is light, it is agile, it stays exactly, it hugs you. It's like a big warm hug from Uncle Sam. It's wonderful, and I love it. We had the LBVs, and we went and bought the Alice gear. We went to our local military surplus and bought basically all of the pouches and a couple of belts and stuff. I think for what I had to purchase for my kit was around $60 for everything that I needed. Obviously, we had the LBVs, so I just had to buy the Alice belt with the pouches and everything, and then through the LBV on top of that, it's got little straps that it wraps around the belt. The mag changes are not as fast as what you can achieve on a plate carrier, especially if you have, you know, open mag pouches where you can just drop the magazine out, take it out and pull it in. So what I was saying about the fingerless gloves, part of it is when you go for a reload, you got to pop that pouch and then you got to reach in there, and all his empties are turned upside down because he's a good airsofter, so he knows he's keeping track of which mags are full and which mags are empty. On these mags, we have little bits of paracord taped to the bottom of them, and so when I was saying about the fingerless gloves, it's much easier to get your finger in there to grab that magazine, and that's the reason that we run fingerless with this kit. Again, if you have a different setup for your magazines, whatever makes you feel better, whatever's comfortable for you, run that. Moving up from the LBV, we have the goggles. Eye protection is important. If you can't see, then you can't play Airsoft. And if you can't see because you played Airsoft without eye protection, then that's wrong. But these are just full seal, iPro, ANSI rated. They've got some ventilation in the top. They seem to be pretty sleek, low profile. Then up from there is a hat, because if you get shot in the dome piece, sucks almost as much as the fingers. I can personally attest to that. Isaac wears a hat to protect himself from that. Other guys in our squad run helmets, just full helmets, which is good. I'm gonna start doing that as well. There's been examples in Airsoft recently of people getting injuries, banging their heads on stuff. So I would say a helmet, especially for a new Airsofter, is a good thing to run, especially if you're operating in a kind of urban environment. If there's buildings or if it's kind of dilapidated, you can always hit your head on something, and that sucks. That can take you out of the game. So it's important to wear a hat. Boonie hat, looks good. It fits with the vibe of the kit. You know, he looks like he's going into the jungle. It breaks up the silhouette of a human. It's very, very demure. And then, the thing that ties this whole kit together, we have the blaster. This is something that is preferential. We do not expect you to go out and spend money on a brand new blaster just for this kit. Whatever you've got works. We love the Car 15. And the Car 15 build specifically from like Desert Storm era, Delta Force, you know the one, the Blood Diamond Car 15 that everybody loves. Go watch a Garantham video made in the last like 2 months. Go watch an administrative results video made in the last couple months, and you will see a Car 15. Car 15s are making a huge comeback right now, and for good reason. They're beautiful. They function so well. They're so much fun to shoot, so much fun to look at. This thing handles like a dream. And just look at my boy. Look at the boy here. So there you have it, that's the Good Guy kit. If you enjoyed this and you want to see some more, you can check out the unboxing we did for the Lancer Gen 3 that you see in this video. If you want to help support the channel, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, go play Airsoft.